To onboard and manage the devices using Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, you will open the Microsoft Defender XDR portal using security.microsoft.com and log in with your work or school account which has the relevant permissions. I have already covered the permission management in the previous videos. If you are doing the basic permissions management for Defender for Endpoint, then you need to be either security administrator or the global administrator. I'm logged in here to the Defender XDR portal and will scroll it to the bottom and will go to the settings blade. Here you see the settings blade. In some of the portals you will see that under system, so system settings. Here you will see the device discovery. If this doesn't appear, you can refresh the portal or you can log out and log in back. Here it shows you the discovery setup options that you can configure how the devices are discovered in the network. This can be the basic or standard discovery. Standard discovery is recommended. The basic discovery is actually to discover and identify the unmanaged devices by passively listening to the network events captured by the onboarded devices, whereas we can have standard devices and we can enable the log4j2 detection devices for CVE to 2021 44228 updates. We can configure the exclusions in case any IP addresses or subnets that we want to exclude from the device discovery, or monitoring of the network monitored or authenticated scans. We can configure the devices that we want to regularly scan. These settings can be configured. Now I will open the endpoint, and under the endpoint, under general settings, you will see advanced features that you can turn on and off using the toggle buttons, whereas we have the different options. The device management shows you the onboarding, and under the onboarding we have the options of Windows 7, 10 and 11, or the server operating systems or Mac OS and the Linux devices. The connectivity type can be streamlined, and in case the deployment method I want to use, I can go with group policy. The reference links are available to understand like what is required for this. Microsoft Endpoint Configuration Manager or the mobile device management solutions and VDI onboarding options are also there. In my case, I will use the local script, which is optimized for up to 10 devices to be onboarded at a time. This is the download of this ATP, Defender Advanced Threat Protection, as it was known as earlier. I will extract this and will run the setup as an administrator. This is the Defender for Endpoint sensor or agent, you can say. I will run it as administrator, will allow this to run always, and will provide my consent that yes, I want to continue with this to the user account control, and then I will press yes to continue. It will take few seconds to a minute to configure this machine to be onboarded to the Microsoft Defender for Endpoint. Successfully onboarded the machine to Microsoft Defender for Endpoint is displayed here. Once this is done, then we can check that whether this device is discovered or not. And for this, it may take few minutes for the device to be discovered. We also can run the detection test. Once the device is discovered, we can create some alerts, or the detection alerts and incidents we can generate to see. So for that, I will be opening the command prompt as an administrator, and to do this detection test we'll be using this code that is provided from the Defender for Endpoint portal. Though I will not be running it as of now, because I will wait for the device to be discovered first, and then I will execute and will show you that detection. Well, let's go back and see that if the device has been discovered. Under the assets, I go to the devices. It may take few minutes, as I mentioned earlier. So this is the device inventory. The device is not detected yet. I will refresh it, and will wait for this device to be discovered. Now that the portal has been refreshed, we see that the device is discovered? Not yet. I will again set it up. I will refresh it again. The settings are okay, but yes, you can check for the endpoints from here as well, and the onboarding settings, and you can see that the connectivity method and the script method that you use was correct. And if it is discovered, then we can run the detection test. After that, this is the script that is optimized for 1 to 10 devices I mentioned earlier already. I will go back to the devices blade under the assets to see this. This is not yet discovered. It takes few minutes. You need to have patience, and before you start any sort of troubleshooting, if the configuration is correct, then it will be discovered. I refreshed it, and now you see that Windows 1 device with this IP address 192.168.1.102 has been discovered. The device is part of the work group, and the sensor health state is active. The device is onboarded on this date and time. Well, once this device has been discovered, I can run that detection test to see that whether we have got the or this agent is reporting the alerts and incidents are getting created or not. We also can the device has been discovered, so we can create the device group. The device group is the option of grouping the multiple devices together so that we can restrict the users to this particular device group. It's a kind of a scope, you can say, that you are creating. The device group will have no automated response or semi, or I will go with full remediation level. And then I will provide the conditions for this. Let's say the name starts with, or we have some operators like ends with and all. Then domain equals or starts with tag if the device has been tagged. I'm going with the operating system condition with Windows 10 and 11 as the device I'm using. And as per my requirement, I can in fact do the preview that whether this condition matches to any device, and yes, when one is matched. Now I will define the user group of the Entra ID that will be limited to manage this device group. So select the Azure AD user group that should have access to this device group to manage them. Well, this is how we can create the device groups. If it comes to create the custom roles, then you can go to the roles and do the permission management from here. You can add a role. For an instance, I want to create a role for tier 1 support teams, and I will provide the detailed description for this. The permissions, you can hover over your cursor. These permissions are self-explanatory. I'll go with the live response and the basic settings where from it can start the live response and download the files from the remote devices. I will go with next, and then we'll choose the security group to which I want to assign the permissions. So this is the SGIT, and I will add this group over here, and then we'll click submit, and as you see that tier 1 support users group has been created. Well, this is how we can create a role for the custom permission assignments. Now I will run this detection code to detect it that was there under the onboarding and device management onboarding. Run the detection test. You need to open the command prompt, run it as an administrator so that the UAC doesn't block it, and then execute this command. Once you execute this code, the device will generate few alerts and the incidents that can be found under the incident and alerts in the XDR portal. As the device has been already discovered, we have seen. This may take few minutes, so I'm going to refresh this and will pause the video and resume it once these alerts are generated. Now I go to the alerts section once again and refresh it to see these alerts. I can see the test alert, that is suspicious PowerShell command line. This is informational and new. The other one is suspicious PowerShell command line, medium, and status is new. I can open these alerts and I can check the details like the process tree, the alert timeline. Okay, and on the right there are several options like the details of this alert that I also can check. The category is execution. The detection source is the endpoint detection and response EDR. Service group Microsoft Defender for endpoint. MITRE attack is this tactic, that is PowerShell. Okay, So these are the details of this alert. I can go to the recommendations to check for this recommendations to remediate from this alert. I can tune the alert also to reduce the noise. Now, this is the incident that has been created, execution incident on one endpoint, and this is the endpoint detail. The two processes, one IP address and the admin account on Win1 endpoint device has been detected. We have alerts, assets that we can use. We can play the attack story that you see on the left under the alerts. You can manage the incidents from the right side. So manage incident or activity logs. So I will go to the manage incidents where from I can assign this incident to someone. I can provide it a friendly name. The severity of this incident I can change from medium, low, information or high. Then incident tag, I can tag this incident as well in case I want to provide it a name. For an instance, this is for simulation. I want to create a new category for this, so this is there. The tags can help you to classify and categorize these incidents. You can assign it to any user. I'm assigning to myself, so here you see admin user has been assigned this. Status is active. The classification, so you choose the category of it, whether it is true positive, be it multi-stage attack, malware, malicious, phishing and all. Informational expected activity like security testing, that's what I'm doing actually. And then confirmed activity, line of business application, if this is, so I can say that it is an expected behavior. There can be some line of business applications developed by us which also produce such alerts and incidents, so we can also classify them and set them to expected category. Well, this is how I can assign the incident to someone. Now I can simulate a attack on the defender for endpoint, and to simulate the attack on the defender, on the endpoint which is protected by Microsoft Defender endpoint, I'm launching the PowerShell ISE as an administrator, and I will be executing a PowerShell script. So I will open this PowerShell script from the desktop. I have that all files folder that has been provided by Microsoft through the GitHub repository. This is the attack script.ps1 file that I will open. And in this script, you will see that line number 3 shows you that it is going to read the content from a file, which is reckon.txt file, which is on the C drive users admin location. So here I can open this reckon.txt, and then I can see this location if the file is available at that desired location or not. So it is all files on my desktop, and this file is reckon.txt that I'm going to open. Well, this script will be executed and will produce some multi-stage attack on the endpoint, which will be detected by the Microsoft Defender XDR, because it's actively scanning this device and its network. I execute this script. The script will execute and will let you know that whether you can close this window or not based on the required version of the operating system that you are running, the build that you are having. So the script has been executed, and now this comes with the notification, the message that shows you that okay, you can close this in case you are using the 1809 or higher build. Well, now I will see this incident of the simulated attack in the Defender XDR portal to check that whether it is available or not. This may take few minutes, so you need to have the patience again. It is near real time, not exactly real time, so the generation of the alert and the ingestion of the alert can be a little bit time consuming. If I go to the incidents to see that whether there is any incident, it is the same thing that we have seen earlier: execution incident on one endpoint, simulation purpose, medium, execution. And if I show you the alerts, so this is the alert suspicious PowerShell command line, and then test alert suspicious PowerShell command lines, the old alerts. I will wait for some time and will refresh this window. I actually have paused the video, and now I resumed it, and I can see that the simulated attack has generated the required alert. Unexpected behavior observed by a process ran with no command line argument. So this is classify the alerts to improve the classifier unassigned. This alert is unassigned right now. Alert state the recommendations that can be followed to fix it. If I go to the incidents to check it, now you see that incident has been turned into multi-stage incident involving the execution and defense, and this is for simulation. If I open this incident, then I can see the details. The incident is already assigned to me, and I assigned it to myself: admin, 3 processes, 2 URLs, 2 IP addresses. I can play the attack story, that how it took place actually. So suspicious PowerShell command line was executed, then command line unexpected behavior observed. So this is the step-by-step progress. Now I can see the alerts. These are the 3 alerts related to this incident, and the incident is a group of these alerts. Actually, the assets are 1 device and 1 user. So device is win1 and user is admin. If I want to manage this incident, the incident is already been assigned to me, as I have seen, and then informational expected activity security testing was the classification that was selected for this incident. I will go back to the incident, and in case I want to do the investigation, I can do that. I can add these criterion filters actually here to filter the incidents based on our required attributes. I have refreshed this page once again to see if any new incident is also being populated. So I can see the incident which has these alerts. The details about these alerts can be seen. So it is execution defense evasion and execution defense evasion kind of technique that has been used. This is the incident. Now let's go back to the incident and do some sort of investigation of identifying the different elements, entities associated with this incident. For that, I will open this incident graph, and I can see the IP addresses. There are 2 IP addresses, and these IP addresses are as follows here on the right side. As you see, the 2 URLs that have been detected are these 2 URLs. There are 3 processes. Let's have a look at the processes as well. So view these 3 processes, notepad command and PowerShell.exe, the processes that have been found. Then this is the defender for endpoint, showing the endpoint device and its details. I can go to the settings, and I can configure the endpoint related settings like advanced features for suppressing the alerts, or for advanced features to restrict correlation to within scope device groups. So these are the different advanced features for the prevention, detection or response related advanced settings we want to turn on. Enable EDR in block mode, so it will be enabled in block mode automatically. Automatically resolve the alerts. So these things I discussed and shared the reference links also in the previous videos of this learning path. But yes, these are the settings which we can configure here. Email notifications are also there, that you can create a notification to notify the security admins to take the necessary actions on the incidents or alerts immediately. So you can define what data you want to include in this. The severity of this alert will be low, medium, high. You can choose it accordingly. Recipient email address you can provide here. So this is how you can create the email notification rules. You also can configure the auto-remediation related settings in case you have any of that configured. The alert suppression is actually moved to the Defender XDR settings, so you can do it from there. Go there now and configure it. This is indicators of compromise. The indicators of compromise will let you detect any suspicious file hashes in the network on your endpoint devices. You can add those details from here, or you can add the IP addresses, URLs and domains, and the certificates. I have covered already the indicators of compromise in case you are new to IOC. So do watch my previous videos for that. These are some of the rules that I can create over here. We have configuration management, enforcement scope, Intune permissions. We can define the Intune permissions from here. So we can add any Entra ID group. We have seen onboarding the devices. We have device management for onboarding, and offboarding is the process of removing this device from the Defender for Endpoint. Then network assessment is for the assessment jobs. Well, these are the settings that we can configure in the Microsoft Defender for Endpoint through this XDR portal. And you can spare more time into these